Hey everybody! I've got another video for you here today. I was just on a call helping people out with their LinkedIn profiles, and I was talking about how to create an outstanding profile for either connecting with businesses if you want to use it as a virtual resume, or connecting with your business to business audience if you happen to be in a business to business style environment and you're trying to make other types of connections that can lead to other business. So what I'm going to do is go through a part of that, at least in a couple minutes here, as far as how you can modify your LinkedIn profile to make it outstanding for great success for those two purposes. So let's dive in. Okay, so a few things you need to understand. Where am I? I am on my LinkedIn site. So after you log into LinkedIn, if you go under Me, you can select View Profile, and that is where you can get to this section. And I clicked on it right now, and it should load on up. And here we are. So there's a couple of things you can edit. One, this very top section is called your intro. And as you can see here, you can find all the different sections of profiles that you can modify. And the first one is the intro. In the intro, when you hit the pencil next to each section, that's where you can edit the contents of that section itself. The intro is basics about you. So what kind of an organization you're for. You can change that background image that's tied to you. You can change the image of you, basic information about you, your headline, who you are and what you work for, current position, etc. These are all the basic kinds of information to connect people to you. One thing that I do want to highlight is down here at the bottom under Profile URL. This is a really valuable thing to edit. And this is the custom link to your LinkedIn location. So whenever you're trying to share your information with other people on LinkedIn, it starts off with just some random set of letters and numbers, which is completely not usable at all. If you actually click and edit this thing, it takes you to another section where you can click on the pencil and edit what that set of letters and numbers is to whatever unique content you want for your LinkedIn profile. Why is this valuable? Now I have a set of words that are easy for people to understand that I can put on a business card and just say LinkedIn, CK Lean Leader, and now anybody can search for me through Google or through LinkedIn and they can instantly find my profile. This is extremely valuable for making connections fast. So go ahead and edit this section up, and you can get rid of that once you're done, and then you can go ahead and apply that as well too, and now all of a sudden you've got a LinkedIn location that is much easier to communicate with people. That's intro. On down is about, and in that section I like to put in what are some of the key thinking, who are you, what are you all about, what are your principles in life, what makes you you. And this is just a simple way of summarizing that as effectively as you possibly can. I've also put, when I was job hunting, some reference to job hunt, where I wanted to be, what kind of work I wanted to do, who I wanted to work with, that kind of thing. This is the very first region for people to understand some specifics about you that's unique. Next is a featured section. If you want to highlight some of your posts or documents or media or websites, I haven't used this section quite yet. It used to not exist. So this is relatively new speaking within LinkedIn. So you can really highlight some of the content that you've created as a result. Dashboard gives you information and insight around who's viewing you, article views, a lot of metrics that you can use to understand the social media content and how effective you're being at it. And then we start to get into some content. Activity is now where you're producing either posts or articles and commenting on posts and articles. And this is a great location then to see all of the content that you've created within LinkedIn itself. And you can edit this content or add comments to it or comment to people, etc. I really like creating content within LinkedIn, especially articles, because it meets people where they are. So rather than having to send them out to my website, they can read the content specifically within LinkedIn itself and get the valuable information within the system itself. And that's a very useful way of communicating with people. Experience, now we're starting to get into the virtual resume. So you got your organizational experience, and if you've got an organization that you've been at for a long time, you've got experience within the experience of the organization itself. So you can edit away the timelines associated to a particular job style, start and end dates, and it'll appropriately put it in the right place relative to the experience item itself. So you can go ahead and enter in your description if you have some media to upload or link. These things used to not be here, so now it's gotten a lot more sophisticated of what kind of ways you can communicate your past experience other than just a description. But it's really great. We're getting to the point where we can almost use this entirely as our resume. No more resumes anymore. I'd love that to be the day where LinkedIn profiles are the way to go for everyone. None of this multiple different HR database systems, all LinkedIn, and it's all easy to communicate, and it's all one standard format. So it's a beautiful way of communicating all of the experience that you've done. Personally, I think I throw in all the past experience, even back to the ancient history of work experience. You never know when it's going to create a unique conversation with somebody, and as a result of that, it ends up in a wonderful connection that gets you into something further. So I put in all the ancient stuff as well too, even though it's not less relevant, so to speak. But that's don't think twice about it. It's further down the profile. Most people are only going to look at the last couple of years and what you're really up to and who you're all about. Education, the exact same thing. We can get into certifications. We can get into other forms of professional degrees and other forms of education on down the line. If you start getting into licenses as well too, now we can edit away various specific certifications and other kinds of expirations related to them and where they are, where you need to go, and the credential ID if there's other kinds of unique IDs tying back to you. You can put all that information in here, and now we've got all that learning history as well too, in addition to the work history. Skills and endorsements. This is a great place to put different kinds of skills and edit skills, and then top skills, and in addition get people to endorse you for the skills that you have. So yeah, kind of valuable. I find that recommendations are even more valuable. This at least talks a little bit about some of the capabilities that you might have, but they're one line kind of skill list. Recommendations is when you get into real testimonial. This is the content, and you can ask for recommendations from people within LinkedIn as well too. You can get to real content that people can recommend you for what you've done and how you've worked with them and what kind of an impact it had for them. This is the real valuable testimonial. You can receive them and you can also give them as well too, and it's very easy within the pencil to ask for it or ask for an update or change something that you might have done previously as well too in the recommendation. Really provide that kind of useful testimonial information for everybody. Accomplishments gets into content related to things that you might have had published or other kinds of patents or courses, projects, honors and awards, tests, organizations, volunteer organizations you might have worked with in the past as well too. This is all where all that content can be listed. Again, very resume focused on successes along the way that you have had. And finally, interests. These are things that you've liked, either people or companies or other types of key things within your industry as well too that are good references. There's less to edit within here. This is just a summary of really that content. That's the core piece I wanted to give about the profile section, and just a few pieces of plugs back on home as well too, tied to LinkedIn marketing. One is posting is a great way to create real quick content, either visual, video, or some more simple word kind of content as well too. If you want to go more in depth, then go write an article. And this is where I put in a lot of blog post content and create pictures tied to it, headlines, and it's full out article time. So you can publish away something more extensive for people to read and be able to connect with, so that they can know who you are, what you can do, and what you're all about. Other things that are very useful, LinkedIn also has groups where you can connect with other groups and to be able to connect with those people that are making comments and posts and be able to grow a network that really is tied to similar information, tied to your industry information, tied to aspects about your industry, aspects about your work, and really grow then a social media platform that's all based in business and professionalism, which is wonderful because this is a great place to really connect with people at a professional level, which allows for a stronger connection, I would say. A lot more trust is in LinkedIn because it's a professional connection, as opposed to other forms of social media where it can be people all over the place. So I'd encourage you to, if you haven't gone through, create a LinkedIn profile, and there's some useful tips to help you be successful at that. All right, take care.